What's up everyone, Blade here, and welcome back to another video of 7 Deadly Sins Origins. And as the title ensues, you guys can see that we're going to be talking about future banners when it does come down to this game here, especially once we do know that the newer characters were finally leaked. So with that being stated here, let's go ahead and talk about it, and I'm not going to waste any more of you guys' time. So on my screen, you should be able to see at least my browser here, being the Arc browser. And this one here, obviously on this website, you're able to check all the lovely characters. Well, some of them are unreleased here, so we got a couple that we need to go over, being Daisy, Merlin, Gother, Elizabeth, Derriere, Bond, Escanor, and Clotho. Now, all of these characters, I won't lie, already seem pretty darn cool, but the good part about this is we do have their elements. Now, whether these elements will be changed, because I know Daisy had these from where she was in the beta. I think the rest of these were confirmed in game because there was a screenshot found, or at least a video found, that shows them in there. So who knows, they may stick with the same elements, they may not. It just depends on if the devs decide to tease us here, but we're going to take a good look. Now I'm going to go over Daisy first because she's the first one that actually does have a couple skills translated here. And this one I honestly do feel is our next banner rather than it being a sin, because of course if this is anything like Grand Cross, they like to try and fit OCs in between certain banners here. So Daisy, being the first one that actually has an actual kit, wields the sword, shield, grimoire, and wand. This is probably the first banner I think is going to happen anyways. The earth one is going to be the sword and shield, lightning being grimoire, wind being the wand itself. And from what I do know about this character is her grimoire is pretty darn strong. But taking a look at her entire kit here, she does have some interesting things with the sword and shield. Obviously, where her normal skill here, she summons a certain little thing here called Daisy and Dumpy, and what this allows us to do is deal a little bit of attack. Then of course we have the active third skill called Block and Dumpy. This decreases your damage taken and you gain energy charge alongside of this, which helps out your magic gauge overall. Pretty darn interesting. Energy charge as well is going to help you out with the ultimate move damage, so you keep that in mind as long as Daisy and Dumpy here. And then we have the ultimate move gauge called Go Away, which does a certain amount of damage. You get a couple of different energy charges themselves, meaning Daisy and Dumpy is going to be able to deal more damage and obviously get up your magic gauge with the increased amount with this ultimate as well. If we do have something called Fairy of the Earth, which is one of the little effects here at the top, it increases our damage taken from the caster, and it also increases our ultimate move gauge with the energy charge that we also do have on this. Now, from what I've seen with Daisy herself, we are only going to be using the lightning one a lot here, but the earth one as well is really good for the Deanne team itself, seeing that it does increase your magic charging efficiency, which is going to help out your reactions and help out a lot of your breaks or bursts, which will be very, very helpful in the long run. So I mean, Daisy is going to be a cool character to see when she does release, and as a future banner I definitely could see this happening, being our first one, seeing that Meliodas does end within the next, let's double check here, I think he ends, yeah, within the next 13 days. So I mean, it's kind of given that they're going to most likely get this guy replaced. As you can see, we got 13 days left for him. It's just enough time for at least the phone players to go ahead and do what they can do, and then they're going to go ahead and continue from there. But with that out the way here, this is definitely the first one I think that's going to be here. And if we go ahead and take a good look or a quick gander at all of them, I'm not really going to heavily break down skills because of course not all the characters do have their skills here, but this one is more your crit damage one, really focuses on crit quite a lot, takes down the enemy's crit defense. And then the wand one itself, it takes down crit resistance, such like that, gives you crit chance, and so on and so forth. So this character, I can see with her being the first one, is probably going to be a very good pull, especially since we need characters that need certain crits, and characters that are like Deanne, Drake will probably benefit this a lot, because of course Drake himself is just missing the entire team, so he can't really be a DPS himself too much. He's usually just a burst build upper, and I feel like with Daisy he can be able to transition into some of that, especially as our first banner, making our first OC into the game. Now for the next future banner that I think is going to be coming out, I feel like it's only obvious that they're going to leave Escanor for last, because of course that's just hyped up moment, but it's either going to be Elizabeth or Bond. Now I'm going to check out Elizabeth first, because Elizabeth would be very, very helpful, especially as a person who plays online all the time. Her weapons are going to be a wand, staff, grimoire, and her attributes are going to be physical, holy. Cool part about this character here is she does have an adventure skill that restores 100% of our max HP whenever we're revived. So what I'm hoping is that Elizabeth has a revive. Having a banner like this, first of all, it makes sense for at least Meliodas to have this. Heck, I can also see this coming before Daisy at times. And the reason why I say it is because Elizabeth and Meliodas, that's the couple of the century. You know, you love them too. But I would love to see her have a revive moment, because there are points in times where people end up dying. Obviously, we're going to get harder dungeons. So having a banner like Elizabeth coming out would be very, very nice to at least go ahead, get everyone back up, or get a certain person up at the time. Give them some really nice heals, because I can see some really good heals coming from this character. And it does seem like that they're not really going with any DPS type strategy. Maybe with the wand I can see it because it is physical attribute, but I do think more of the staff and grimoire are going to be like her healing slash very supportive buff type roles. So I'm interested to see how that does go. As for Bond himself, the reason why I feel like he might be one besides, of course, Elizabeth, is because Bond is literally just Meliodas' right-hand man. We don't have official artwork of it, if by the looks of it here so far. He wields a nunchuck, great sword, as well as gauntlets, and this is all physical. So this man is going to be most likely about that action. Now, granted, physical also can mean that we're probably getting a nice buffer into. I can possibly see it with like the gauntlets maybe, because of course gauntlets are also a thing with Deanne that way. But who knows? I do feel like this character is really just going to be a very aggressive character, which will be pretty darn cool to do. The only sad part is, since he's only physical, obviously all of his things are going to be more physical tied into basing, which means that he doesn't have any real high key variety for burst effects. All of his things are going to be tied to non-burst effects. So you will only be able to activate this once a burst is already activated, or if you proc it right before the burst is activated. So kind of sad there. He does have an adventure skill here that apparently unlocks hidden recipes, which is going to be cool for Bond's special dishes. That's going to be actually kind of awesome to see. I love it. It's something like Grand Cross, where of course if you had Bond cooking, you obviously made some better food and stuff like that, which was great. Had better rates as well. Then we go into the other characters that I believe can be in the next line. Now, if we're going to try to follow the OC line here, of course, Clotho is one I do want to look at here. And we don't really know all too much about this character, because I remember seeing her, but it doesn't seem like we have any actual information on her. She wields a grimoire, a staff, and a rapier, which I'm praying that her rapier is insanely good, because I do want Winds to get a better DPS themselves. This could be another banner I can see right after, like maybe Elizabeth or Bond, mainly to shake things up with at least the OCs before we start releasing Sin after Sin. Now granted, I also think that she could be released maybe at the end of the Sins, seeing how little we saw about her in the story. So it might be a little bit different deciding on there. She does have an adventure skill that has a designated location, which would be cool. Afterwards, we got the next few of the Sins here, being Merlin, Gother, and Escanor. All three of these characters are kind of wild cards because they can kind of release whenever. I do think Escanor is probably going to be the last one of all of them, seeing he is the highest Sin here. But Merlin herself is a fire, lightning, and cold character with staff, wand, and grimoire. We then have our Gother, who is a ice, dark, and lightning character, which is grimoire, wand, and staff. And then we have obviously the Escanor with fire, holy fire, which is going to be the axe, greatsword, and sword shield. I think all three of these characters have a lot of potential, but the reason why I'm very interested into Merlin and Gother and think they could possibly be next after Clotho, if that's the possible way, is because they have triple elements, right? Meaning they have multiple different teams that they could possibly just fit into, making them very diverse. Now granted, this doesn't mean the character is going to be crazy, right? It doesn't mean like they're going to be insane. Obviously, we have other characters that have triple elements like King, where he is holy, physical, earth, but we really only use technically like physical and earth to some extent. Or either we got characters like Dradrin, who's like earth, physical, and holy, but technically we only use Dradrin just for holy. So it has a high chance of absolutely being useless. But with characters like Elaine, where she has her triple comp and all three are pretty useful, I think they also have a good chance of being pretty useful as well. So either one of them definitely can come after Clotho, in my opinion, which would be pretty darn cool. And then leading up to our last Ascend being Escanor, which I think he's going to be a really cool release as well. If this is anything like Grand Cross, we did release him a little bit early, or at least people released him a little bit early there. That was on the global end. To the JP end, of course, came at the right timing that it needed to. It was a little bit more paced out, but it made sense. We had all the sins first. Everything was great. Then out of nowhere, green Escanor and red Escanor both started to make their appearance into the game, which was pretty darn cool at the time as well. Both of them ruling in their own standpoints, which was awesome as well to see. So I think he's probably going to be the last one to come out here, especially out of all of them. And I'm very interested in his adventure skill, because it says by distorting time and space, stats are no longer affected by time, which is freaking awesome. So we'll see exactly how that does work here. He's probably able to keep a certain amount of buffs on the field or something like that, which would be awesome to see, but only time will tell us in that standpoint. Then lastly, we have Derriere. Derriere is another cool character that got leaked here. She has gauntlets, great swords, and an axe. I feel like she's definitely going to be the last one in general, just because since she's not part of the sins, obviously it would make sense to start going with the 10 commandments the second we get the chance to. She is still a hyped character, but I don't think she's going to be anywhere near being up close to the front point, or at least the front part of banners, because it just probably wouldn't make too much sense unless out of nowhere they just say, screw that, we don't want to make sense, we just want hype, in which Derriere could still be very, very hype. So I mean, like, we could see her anytime, but I do believe she's going to be like the last banner in the future rotation. So pretty cool to have another character in here, and I want to know what you guys do think about this. So for the banner order, in my opinion here, if I want to have a flat out banner order, next banner is going to most likely be Daisy, and if not Daisy, Elizabeth, but Daisy, then it goes back to Elizabeth. After Elizabeth, I can see them doubling down with Bond. After Bond, going to Clotho. Then we go and said, get Merlin, then Gother, then Escanor. After it's going into Derriere. Now, I think that's pretty a fire way to go about it. Of course, they could swap some ones around, such as like Elizabeth with Daisy, and then maybe Bond with Clotho instead of being 2 back-to-back sins, or technical helpers of the sins like that. So I mean, like, it just honestly depends, but I'm excited for the future. I can't wait to see how it's going to end here, especially since I'm still trying to get my last few dupes of Meliodas. So we have a lot of things to go over, but till then, everybody, thank y'all for watching the video, and see you later.